other things. What is the salutation that is the closest to you?
See, me being a doctor, oncologist is the right thing. I'm a dedicated oncologist. But why I became an entrepreneur is because I saw a few decades ago, particularly coming back from US, that the oncology care was a different level.
In the US.
Compared to US. We were at a different level using cobalt therapy, primitive therapies, and saying cancer is really not curable, using the terms palliative, incurable, and even in public when somebody has issues in the social issues, we used to say it's a cancer of the society. All of this made me think, look, with the knowledge I have, having trained at MD Anderson, which is the biggest cancer center in the world, it is time to change that. In order to do that, I said it can be done only being an entrepreneur, private enterprise, being a risk taker. So that is when I donned the hat of being an entrepreneur. So that is why people say doctor and entrepreneur, doctorpreneur. But that word I think suits me in terms of what I have done.
In some sense, you're a business leader who has not worked relentlessly in the pursuit of profits. Yeah. Would that be a fair thing? Or is it just that the field you are in prompts you to do that?
I will give you my honest answer. When I came back to India, started this, let me do the right thing for the cancer patients. I didn't know what is EBITDA means, what are margins mean, what are the PAT, all these terms that you know.
Were you rich enough then to not bother about it?
No, I come from a middle class family.
Okay.
And in fact, I have written in my book called Excellence is No Border, what all we went through. But that was a great experience. You know, I always say, coming from middle class family, all we got was education. My dad was a dean of law school. He made sure we got good education. But to me, it was a challenge. See, I always felt you don't have to be wealthy to really start as long as you don't have fear. See, the problem is for an entrepreneur to take on, you should be prepared to lose your shirt. And you should make sure your family understands that. I told my wife when I was before moving to India in Boston, I can become a coolie, you have to support me. So that is the risk I took. Because without risk, you can't be a true entrepreneur. People disagree with me, but an entrepreneur through family heritage is not true entrepreneur. You know, if you have amassed wealth and you want to do something, you're not taking risk. You have this buffer. The wealth buffer is there. Yeah. So, but a true entrepreneur is somebody who starts a new idea, new thing. Because I remember Niraj, the Tata Memorial director, she is no longer alive, Shah, telling me, Ajay, you will fail. What are you talking about? Putting up multiple centers. Nobody in the world has ever done. As an individual, I said, Dr. Shah, if I fail, I learn from it. But let me go and do it. So I like the challenges. I did it with partnership models and all succeeded. And thanks to the private equity, honestly, if I can say one thing, without private equity, SCG wouldn't have existed.
I was about to ask you that. In some fashion, your steadfast belief in that, did it help set the culture and attract the right kind of employees to your business who would have stuck with you for the long term? And that is such a big kicker in a business.
Absolutely, because whenever I meet investors, first thing they ask is, what about your doctors? Do you have enough doctors? Believe me, Niraj, I have doctors waiting to join HCG.
Cheers to
I
that.
don't have lack because there are different types of doctors. One doctor may be all about doing the right thing, but 8 to 5 job. I go to a fixed amount, I work in a government hospital, I come home, I'm happy. Then there are doctors who run around multiple hospitals, want to make as much of money as possible. Then there are groups who are in big hospitals, but their goal is the hospitals dictate how much of earning you have to do, how many scans you have to do. So they compromise. But what I have is zero compromise. Do the right thing for the patient. Measure the outcome. Make sure we know the outcome of each doctor. How good they are. Not. And if there is a mortality, do we know what is the mortality? For example, in HCG, we published it. Used to be 3.4% for 5,000 discharges in 2017. Once we got on, I was primarily involved. Today, 14,000 discharges, 0.7% mortality.
Wow.
It's not easy to achieve. That is outcomes, everything. So, pursuit of excellence, there are doctors who believe in it. Still they make good money, but they want to make sure they are embedded in an organization which believes in this kind of pursuit. And that is why I'm lucky. Even the staff, not only doctors, nursing, paramedical staff, they believe. And my goal is very simple. If you don't believe, please leave the organization. Very important. We don't want half-baked people.
Let me take the clock back, let's say 20, 21 years. HCG, I believe, founded in 2005.
2004, 5, yeah.
2000, okay, between 2003 and 2005. Describe that moment for an entrepreneur to whom the dean of one of the most amazing cancer hospitals in the country said it's not possible. You made it possible. Describe that moment for you as a doctor and for you as an entrepreneur.
See, for me, it is when I traveled through India, I took off 6 months and traveled with my wife. I saw a child in Madhya Pradesh waiting for 12 hours to get a cobalt treatment, broken cobalt. I asked the mother, 12 hours waiting every day I come, sarcoma of the stomach. And when I saw scenes like this, a lady with cervix cancer, bleeding, only giving cobalt and having a lot of side effects, I said, we need to change. We can't accept this. Whatever the challenge is, we have to do. Then somebody said, just do it in Bangalore, you are from Bangalore. I said, no, it is a national issue. So I will use with my advisors and all, I said, I'll use a hub and spoke model. How do we use the hub and spoke model? I'll go to people who are practicing, who are good doctors. Can I make them partners? That is how I created in Nasik, in Vijayawada, in Ahmedabad. This model worked very well, where there are minority partners. And I also thought whether I should do non-profit, for-profit. And one thing, Niraj, is my DNA doesn't allow me to go and ask somebody, I'm doing this great job, please give me money. I don't do that. Let me do the right royal way. And that is how we created the private enterprise, HCG. And people were always, of course, there are always people who can critique it. I welcome criticism. In a private, cancer. That is why I was so happy to see the Harvard Business School report, which was fabulous. 5 years in a row, they did a study on us saying, what a phenomenal thing. When I went to Harvard Business School, they compared us to Dana-Farber, another oncology group in US. 180 students, nearly 120 voted for HCG.
Nice.
It's the best model.
Excellence measured by those who built it. Presenting the jury of the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards. Sunil Bharti Mittal, Chairman of the jury. Founder and Chairman, Bharti Enterprises. Noel Naval Tata, Chairman, Tata Trusts. UK Sinha, former Chairman, SEBI. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, Chairperson, Biocon Group. C.S. Sethi, Chairperson, SBI. Jayant Sinha, former Union Minister of Finance and Civil Aviation. Ramesh Damani, Value Investor and member of BSE. Cyril Shroff, Managing Partner, Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas. NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards. Honoring excellence. Coming soon. India's unshakable news habit. NDTV.com is India's #1 English news website.
Hi, I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Watch me on NDTV Profit, where I break down the day's biggest business stories. What happened, why it matters, and what it means for your money.
Hi, I'm Niraj Shah. Watch me on NDTV Profit for the most incisive market intelligence and meaningful corporate conversations.
And I'm Alex Matthew. Markets, mutual funds, insurance, personal finance. I help you cut through the noise and make smarter financial choices. And here's where you can watch us.
When the headlines move fast, perspective matters. On Editor's Cut, our editors come together with experts to distill the week's information plates into clear perspective. Down the stories shaping the world, from markets and the economy to global conflicts and what lies ahead. This is where experience meets insight. No noise, no hype, just sharp takes on what to watch next. Editor's Cut, every Friday, 3:30 p.m. only on NDTV Profit.
Economy, business, world, technology. Noise filtered, numbers decoded. Insights that rewire your worldview. From governance to growth, we connect the dots. Your daily edge, your global advantage. India Business Report with me, Gauri Dwivedi, weeknights on NDTV Profit.
He has been tracking markets for over a decade, spots the trends before they hit the screen. And he is now bringing his analysis to the show that the market watches. Watch Sharad Dubey on Know Your Company, a show that puts the most traded stocks under the scanner. We dissect the company so that you, the investor, don't have to get the management to answer questions relevant to you. Watch Know Your Company weekdays at 11:30 a.m. to understand your next big bet. New year, new power panel, India market open, now in its boldest lineup. This is where the trends get tested and stocks get conviction.
I'll recommend a buy call on a stock only when I'm fully convinced on the stock. With a table thumping buy.
And when the street wants the levels, he brings the chart.
Charts speak the truth, and I deliver the levels with no frills.
Parag Thakkar and Kush Bohra are now part of the morning crew with Tamanna, Niraj and Alex. Same show, sharper voices. Every morning on India Market Open, your favorite market show just got better. On NDTV Profit, for your profit.
How did you do this? Because you are talking about getting the best in class equipment, but at the same time, doing the treatment at, of course, a fraction of a cost as to what is happening globally, but also trying to do it low cost. So how did you achieve both of these as you gravitated and navigated your business to what arguably would have been a challenging time?
Yeah, because the private equities, banks always do their models. I have my own model.
Okay.
It is called simplicity in complexity.
Okay.
I take complex situation and simplify. I have a equipment, and now when is it going to be viable? How many patients I need? And for that to be viable, it will take 3 years. So can I work out with a manufacturer? 3 years, there is no payment. So for 3 years, I build. So there is no sword hanging over. This is the model we created. We worked with Siemens and others. And that worked out perfectly well for me, and particularly with private equity coming in. And they were great help, honestly. And they bought into this idea. Some of them, like IDF Private Equity, there was one Luis Miranda. They didn't know anything about healthcare. They were into road building. They said, it's okay, here is your 10 million, let us see how we will do. And all of them got good returns. 7 Ps have got good returns.
Nice.
With no complaints.
How do you achieve that, sir?
That is primarily being, if I can say, when Mr. Premji invested, I didn't go to him. Invested, he said, I want to invest in transparency ethics. I told him one thing, I value your money more than mine. I will make sure that is well spent and your returns come. And he got his returns.
But also that during this journey, as you navigated through what has also been a mutating disease in many ways, right? You expanded from whatever number you would have started off with 1, which is Uno, to 21, if I'm not wrong.
25 cancer centers.
25 cancer centers, and also a small acquisition, if I'm not wrong. So did this journey happen as a planned journey? Did you have the vision back in 2005 that you wanted to reach a particular size, or did it just happen on the way?
No, I didn't have. I just wanted to make sure it is accessible, affordable for people across India. Mainly I was concerned about eastern part of India, certain parts of India. But wherever I found a right partner, that is where I went. For example, in North India, I couldn't find the right partner. I couldn't do it in Uttar Pradesh at that time. But wherever I found this partner is what I can do. Go with them. Like in Nagpur, I found a great partner. Ahmedabad, like that. Wherever people are in sync with your thinking, oncologists. And we worked.
In many ways, in 2 instances that you've just told me, sir, that one, that you told your early investors that, or Mr. Premji, that your money is more important than mine. And then you're talking about the institution being more important than your own interest. Is that one advice that you would give to entrepreneurs who are starting to build out the business? That there could be long-term success in this approach, even if short-term you may feel that you're giving up a lot more than you should?
This comes to my why question. See, entrepreneur has to decide why he's taking up that field.
Okay.
I took it to make a difference in cancer.
Most people do it for wealth creation. So
Wealth creation. Then it's a different story. You are a serial entrepreneur. You're not a social entrepreneur. If you do it for wealth creation, of course you have to think of preserving your majority holds, your thing. All of that becomes important. How much you want to grow, will you get? But I know entrepreneurs who are done for wealth also, who because of the pressure, they have diluted themselves to being 5%, 8%. And they're working donkey's hours. I know this guy who is in the data business in Delhi. His working hours are unbelievable, but he's only 8%, 9%. I told him, why are you like this?
For the
What is the matter? Who are you working for? For
Yeah,
yourself,
exactly.
for others. So this is something has to be changed. We have to give, that is what our Inviga is doing, to give enough ESOPs or stock options through the entrepreneurs who is driving it so that they don't get diluted.
do you look for an entrepreneur who thinks like you and is more of a social entrepreneur than a commercial entrepreneur, even if not totally? Or when the fund is investing, you are looking at it from a lens of commercial interest?
We look at it from the length of eventual commercial interest, but the interest will be to bring all these stakeholders together. So we call it, Curus is the company for hospitals. In that, we take majority stake. We help them in operations. The doctor, let us say doctor is an orthopedic doctor. He continues to perform. He is also a stakeholder in the system. See, he is not just paid salary for his work, but he is also a stakeholder. So it has a double effect. And for that, for him, he looks at, of course, security, everything else, but he will also build wealth if he does good. What is wrong in that? As long as we maintain that quality and good outcome. So that is what we are striving for. Even if I fail in this endeavor, I'm quite happy.
I'm sure.
Because for me, I celebrate failure also. And what really, talking about Nuvama, it is a great way they looked into this. They were one of the first ones to say, I like this idea. Sandeep from Sudama, he looked at it and said, he came and met me once along with Rishikesh, and they said, we love this idea. Can we be partner with you?
So cool.
Cool. And they have really gone out of the way, and that has really created a bonding. More than anything else, it becomes friendship at some point.
Yes.
It is trust.
Yes.
Once you trust each other, there is no going out of it. For me, trust is an important factor.
how do you see the growth of the healthcare sector in India going ahead? A lot of people say that this is a recession-proof, inflation-proof sector, which will probably grow at a particular percentage, compounded for the next 10, 15, 20 years. What's your sense, sir?
It will definitely grow. I think the common sense approach is people are moving up the economic ladder.
Right.
When they move up the economic ladder, what do they look for? Good education for their children, good health care for themselves, their family. If you don't have that, then it's not for them. So they are moving up the economic ladder. Their per capita income is improving. Lot of technology is coming, know-how. So with that and Google, majority of the patients who come to me, even assuming they are from tier 2, tier 3 city, they would have done their homework. Who is Ajai Kumar? What is this? What is cancer? So they are well versed. And so this is going to make a change. Even in cancer field, unfortunately, it is a disease which is increasing.
Yeah.
And now we say 1 in 9 in India are getting cancer. And soon it could be 1 in 6, 7. So this is something which, of course, make us the growth. But where to prevent it is really to make sure that cancer doesn't recur.
Part 2 of that question is, a lot of government policies are also encouraging foreigners to come in and take advantage of the Indian healthcare system and the cost. Do you think that plus the India's burgeoning population means 25%?
We don't need any foreigners.
We don't.
We are going some there. So why do we need them to come here?
For
Indian
medical tourism. Medical tourism.
Yeah, for medical tourism, I call it medical destination. Because people who come to India have initially gone through some treatments.
Right.
They find then recurrence happens, something goes wrong, they come here. Definitely there is a place for it. There is no question. And that can help to bridge the gap, cross-subsidy.
So 20-25% is possible?
Is possible.
And would you believe hospital chains, organized chains are the best placed? This is a purely commercial question, but hospital chains would be the best place, or could the entire ecosystem, which is diagnostics, pharma companies, hospital chains, etc., all of them will probably grow at this pace? Or will
definitely grow. Definitely grow in my view, primarily because there is now good competition for good quality. And whenever there is competition, lot of people come in and we reset ourselves to focus on quality outcome. So growth will happen. Some will fail. See, when you rapidly grow, obviously some will fail. But I think we will learn from failures and reset ourselves so that we don't do the same mistakes.
I thought of doing this conversation as a business conversation alone, but your answers compelled me to move it from being a pure business conversation to just the kind of learning that you've given us, Doctor. I don't know if I can call you an oncopreneur, maybe, because you like to be called an oncologist, but you're a very successful entrepreneur as well. It has been one of the most amazing conversations that I've had in recent times. So I thank you for doing this with me today. And I thank Team Nuvama for doing this whole exceptional speech, because it gives us a chance to talk to people like you. But thank you for being with us today.
I want to really, truly thank you and Nuvama. Honestly, they have been a great associate for me, and the way they are really structured and of course invited me here, what kind of help they have done. I'm very thankful for the entire Nuvama team. And of course for you for having me here. Thanks.
No, I mean, it's NDTV's pleasure that we are able to do these conversations and bring the story of truly exceptional leaders to a wide bunch of viewers. So thank you for being with us today, Doctor.
Thanks.
And really appreciate your time.
Thanks. Thank you.
And viewers, thank you for tuning in to a very differentiated episode of The Exceptionals. It isn't truly just a business conversation, because the gentleman that we had is not just truly just a businessman, but a lot more. So thank you so much for tuning in today.
Excellence measured by those who built it. Presenting the jury of the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards. Sunil Bharti Mittal, Chairman of the jury. Founder and Chairman, Bharti Enterprises. Noel Naval Tata, Chairman, Tata Trusts. UK Sinha, former Chairman, SEBI. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, Chairperson, Biocon Group. C.S. Sethi, Chairperson, SBI. Jayant Sinha, former Union Minister of Finance and Civil Aviation. Ramesh Damani, Value Investor and member of BSE. Cyril Shroff, Managing Partner, Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas. NDTV Profit, Business Leadership Awards. Honoring excellence. Coming soon. India's unshakable news habit. NDTV.com is India's #1 English news website.
You're a Malad boy. You started by trying to do something with sweets, pivoted to chaat, then pivoted to vada pav, then you pivoted to vegetarian burgers.
When we started the mithai brand, again it was a little too ahead of its time. Chaat never happened. We just called, Jumbo King was called the chaat factory for some reason. I love the name. I started with one store of 50 square feet. We are fully vegetarian, and my first reaction when we did vegetarian burgers, when we pivoted, they said burgers vegetarian kab se hone lage, right? A burger is basically
It's like veg biryani.
veg biryani.
Why is Jumbo King not only about vada pavs anymore?
Vada pav is a Mumbai product. Within Mumbai, this was like the poor man's food or the my struggle ke days ka sathi. There is a problem in the name vada pav. The moment you call it vada pav, you can't charge more than 20 rupees. People will say that isme sona chandi thodi dala hai. Why should I pay more than this?
How many people told you कि MBA करके आप वड़ा पाव बेच रहे हो?
My friends used to joke around, tell us the truth. You've been disowned by the family. You're not telling us that. We have a family business. And I told my dad I don't want to join the family business. When Jumbo King started, it was seed capital of only 2 lakh rupees, which I borrowed from my dad. I said I don't need money because I had burnt about 55 lakhs in the mithai business.
Hi, I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Watch me on NDTV Profit, where I break down the day's biggest business stories. What happened, why it matters, and what it means for your money.
Hi, I'm Niraj Shah. Watch me on NDTV Profit for the most incisive market intelligence and meaningful corporate conversation.
And I'm Alex Matthew. Markets, mutual funds, insurance, personal finance. I help you cut through the noise and make smarter financial choices. And here's where you can watch us.
When the headlines move fast, perspective matters. On Editor's Cut, our editors come together with experts to distill the week's information plates into clear perspective. Down the stories shaping the world, from markets and the economy to global conflicts and what lies ahead. This is where experience meets insight. No noise, no hype, just sharp takes on what to watch next. Editor's Cut, every Friday, 3:30 p.m. only on NDTV Profit.
Hello and welcome to Tech 360. Sorry, hello and welcome to Tech 360. Sometimes when I hold a camera, I feel like I'm becoming a vlogger again. And maybe that means in the next few weeks, you'll be seeing a lot more vlogs from us here on Tech 360. But if you're seeing the sunset behind me and we're catching it, it's because we're shooting this on a smartphone, not on the usual camera that we do the show on. That's because